Welcome to TwinSpiresTV's and TwinSpiresTV. I'm Jill Byrne with the weekend preview. We are heading towards the end of March and a big weekend of racing here and, of course, across the water, all the way across the water over in Dubai with the Dubai World Cup program on Saturday. Louisiana Derby weekend here, a big day of racing down at the fairgrounds on Saturday. Well, let's get to our contests and promotions because we have a lot happening. All right, it's Hit It and Split It. That involves the fairgrounds, Louisiana Derby Day. 200,000 guaranteed all stakes pick four. And if you wager on your TwinSpiresTV account, hit that pick four on that account, you have a chance to split in a prize pool of 1 million TwinSpires Club points. That's Louisiana Derby Day, $2.5 million in purses that day, including a $500,000 Grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks and the $1 million Grade 2 Louisiana Derby. Dubai World Cup Day, big championship day over in Dubai. Now, they start 9 a.m. post for Eastern. 9 a.m. Eastern is their first post. The big race is scheduled to run around 1:30, 1:35 Eastern time. A couple of good European horses in there, but some real good American horses decided to head over for that as well, including Gio Ponte, always one of my favorites. I just love this horse. Every time he goes out there, he gives you 110% no matter what the surface is. Nick Zito sending Fly down. He'll be closing late there at that long stretch of the Dubai World Cup. And Richard's Kid, we know one thing, he likes the synthetic surfaces. I think the Americans have a big shot this year, but we always have to keep an eye on Michael DeCock. Seems like everything he sends out over there is tough, and the locals as well. So Dubai World Cup Saturday. TwinSpires online handicapping series well underway. 50 seats to Vegas, $100,000 prize at the end, grand prize. So make sure you get involved in that. Free harness racing past performances, and that is on Saturday. Wagers $2. That's actually, all March, all throughout March. Free harness past performances when you wager $2 on the card. Players pool. As warm as it's been here in Kentucky, you might as well open the pool. Well, the pool is open on TwinSpires. That's the $10,000 players pool on Saturdays. And let's see, what else? Derby Prep. That's our Derby Prep parlay, $25,000 plus some tickets here to the Kentucky Derby. And we have a big weekend of Derby Preps. Louisiana Derby. We have the Vinery Spiral Stakes at Turfway and also the Sunland Derby, and that is on Sunday at Sunland Park. $800,000. The importance of that race is it is now graded. So graded stakes earnings on the line there. Could get some top Kentucky Derby contenders looking to add a few dollars to their bank account for that. All right, let's get to the fairgrounds because that's where one of our big promotions, that Hit and Split, that guaranteed $200,000 all stakes pick four. They're going to start it out with race number 7, the Duncan F. Kenner, the sprinters getting their chance. Cash refund coming in off a win down there over Backtalk, who will face again Backtalk now that they've relegated him to sprinting. He's certainly found his niche. Cash refund always runs his race. Such a good horse. One of 2 in here for Steve Margolis. He also has early return. Comes in off a win, early return, sometimes a big race, sometimes a little bit of an off race. He's not as consistent as his stablemate Cash Refund. Horse I like in here, though, we haven't seen him since the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and that is Riley Tucker. Riley Tucker coming in off the layoff. Now, prior to the Breeders' Cup Sprint, which I actually thought he ran a pretty good race here, prior to that, he was second in the Vosburg. Never gets a lot of respect at the windows, and I think you might get a little value on him again because he's coming in off that long layoff, but training fantastic down there at the fairgrounds, gets plenty of pace in the race, sets it up well with that long stretch for Riley Tucker. Race 8, part of this all-stakes pick 4, is the Grade 2, $500,000 Fairgrounds Oaks. This is a good field in here, a really good field. I know we lost Kathman Blue. She didn't go in here, but Ken McPeak still sending in one with Niji's Grand Girl coming in off a third-place effort in a race that could turn out to be kind of a little bit of a key race, the Florida Oaks, but I like some more of the local fillies in here. And the one I really like is Inglorious. Inglorious was second last time out in the Rachel Alexandra to Catman Blue. Now, that day, she made up some ground. The fractions were slow, didn't suit her running style at all, but I really like the way she finished. I look for a big effort from her. A couple others in there. You have Little Miss Holly, who's coming out of the Silver Bullet Day, the other prep to this, and a Little Miss Holly, and Daisy Divine, who were second and third in that race. And those two ran big efforts there. And another filly I think really need to keep an eye on, and this is Tap It Dancer. Now, she kind of put in a poor effort in the Rachel Alexandra, but she had a rough trip that day. Prior to that, she broke her maiden impressively here at Churchill, and that was off a bit of a layoff coming in that Rachel Alexandra. I look for a much better effort from her for the Steve Asmussen stable. The Tappet fillies are tearing it up for the Oaks right now. She could add to that list of Tappet fillies there for the Kentucky Oaks. That'll be race number 8. Race number 9, they're on the turf course. Weather looks good. Fingers here crossed for that, so that the weather's going to be good down there this weekend. Warm, but hopefully on the turf, because race number 9 is the Mervyn Muniz, and that is a Grade 2. Also, $400,000 guaranteed on that on the grass. So we have some horses coming out of the local prep for that, the Fairgrounds Handicap, including that long shot winner. I'm sorry I couldn't pick this horse if you showed him in the winner's circle to me again, and that was Expansion for trainer Steve Asmussen. But he ran a big race that day. Sleepless Night, who was second to him, he comes back again. Graham Motion sending in a horse I really like in here. Smart Bid just got beat a nose last time at Gulfstream in the Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap. I think Smart Bid is going to take some money. And another horse I think you have to take a long look at is Battle of Hastings. Battle of Hastings, he's coming in from Gulfstream as well. This horse, when he's on his form, he's good. He won the River City here. I think he might like the Fairgrounds Turf Course just a little bit more than the Gulfstream Turf Course, because the Fairgrounds Turf Course probably a little more similar to the turf course here at Churchill where he ran such a big race. And then the big one, the Louisiana Derby, race number 10, $1 million for the Louisiana Derby. A field of 13. Don't know if we'll have any defections in there, but a really fantastic wagering race, including the winner that's coming out of the prep for this, the Risen Star, Mucho Macho Man. He had a perfect trip that day, though, but he never gets the respect, and all he does is run well, so you got to like him. He's training really well going in there. You have the horse that ran third in there, though, is coming into this race, and that is Machen. Now, if you go back and look at this race, you can always pull up the race replays here on TwinSpires and go look at his race. He broke poorly. He laid last in that race behind extremely slow fractions, made kind of a strong middle move, and flattened out. I think he can improve in this race. He'll like the longer stretch, and I think maybe with more honest fractions in there. You also have Pants on Fire and Wilkinson. Now, Wilkinson won the Lecomte. He's a stablemate of Machen. We haven't seen him since the Lecomte. Kind of underrated, this horse. What I liked about him in that race, he battled back on the inside, showed some real grit in there. I think this is a really good colt. So you have them, Mucho Macho Man, and Majestic. Now, I want to talk about two horses that I think might get left out a little bit in here. Majestic Harbor, all I did was just break his maiden. This is a horse I've always liked since the first time I saw him here at Churchill Downs. I think maybe in the exotics you get a little bit of value there. Left for Claiborne Farm and for Al Stahl, just one allowance race. He's 2 for 2. Another horse stepping up a little bit in class, but you have to use Elite Alex. Now, I know he's probably going to get wagered on pretty heavily in here. He's coming out of the Southwest. There was no pace in that race. He, too, made a little bit of a middle move, flattened out under Calvin Burrell. He gets that long stretch at the fairgrounds, and I think he gets a better pace scenario in here, so Elite Alex. So I'm thinking probably using a few horses in that Louisiana Derby in that pick 4. $200,000, guaranteed pick 4. Lots of action here on TwinSpires over the weekend. I will be down at the fairgrounds covering all of it and checking in on to see who might be our next potential Kentucky Derby star. For TwinSpires, I'm Jill Byrne. Have a great weekend of racing.